Today we're going to talk about clauses. So what is a clause? A clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. Let's look at this example. Your genes carry your family's genetic history. Our subject is genes because the subject is who or what the sentence is about. Genes is the subject of the sentence. A verb is a word that shows a state of being or action. In this case, carry is our verb. Here's another example. Don't forget that the subject of a sentence is who or what the sentence is about, and a verb is a word that shows a state of being or action. So in this sentence, Margaret is very excited to meet you. Margaret is my subject, and is my verb. Clauses can be independent or dependent. An independent clause expresses a complete thought. In other words, it's a complete sentence. The dog barked. In this sentence, dog is our subject and the verb is barked. A dependent clause does not express a complete thought. In other words, it's an incomplete sentence. It needs to be attached to an independent clause. So here we have the clause, when the dog barked. The dog is our subject, barked is our verb, but we have this when here that makes it incomplete. Does it express a complete thought? When the dog barked, what happened? It's leaving off information, and that's how you know it's dependent. A fragment occurs when a phrase or dependent clause is not attached to an independent clause. Say no to fragments. If I put a period at the end of this dependent clause, it becomes a fragment. Does this express a complete thought? No, it's a fragment of a complete thought. Fragment means a part or a piece of a whole. You can revise a fragment by attaching it to an independent clause. When the dog barked, comma, the baby cried. My dependent clause is when the dog barked. The subject is the dog. The verb is barked. Here I have an independent clause, the baby cried. That could be a complete sentence in and of itself. The baby is my subject. Cried is my verb. So we easily fix this by attaching the dependent clause to an independent clause. A phrase is different than a clause. A phrase is a group of words that may contain nouns and verbs, but it does not contain a subject. After the hurricane, we moved 100 miles inland. This is a phrase. In fact, it's a prepositional phrase. After is my preposition. The hurricane is the object of the preposition. It's simply a noun. It's not a clause because it doesn't contain a verb or a subject. Here we have another one. Trotting up to the fence, the horse hoped that he'd receive an apple or carrot. We have a verb and we have a noun, but we don't have a subject in this particular phrase. Let's practice. We're going to see if the clause is dependent or independent. When Kara went to school, because it sounds incomplete, we know that it is dependent. Jared spoke at the conference. Does it make sense by itself? Yes, so it's independent. That horse is beautiful. Does it express a complete thought? Yes, it's independent. Because Tim earned a 4.0 GPA, okay, because he did this, now what? Did he get a scholarship? Did he get an award? It's leaving off information, so you know that it is dependent. The door is open. It expresses a complete thought, so it's independent. Although the sky is gray, what? Tell me more. This is dependent. The store is closed after 10 p.m. That expresses a complete thought, so it's independent. If you want to go. If you want to go what? Tell me more. It's dependent. Even though Mom doesn't like surprises. Go on. Even though Mom doesn't like surprises, now what? Are you still throwing her a surprise party? Are you gonna buy her flowers? Like, you need to tell me more. Even though this, now what? This is dependent. The magazine cost $5. It expresses a complete thought. It is independent. Whenever it rains what? Tell me more. This is dependent. As the song began to play, what happened? It's dependent. And finally, a dependent clause is also called a subordinate clause. The root word sub means below. The root word orden means order. So it means below order or second in order. Hopefully that can help you remember what a dependent clause is.